Now, what will the Iranians do? Well, what would you do? I would fight back with everything at my disposal, and I would punish, absolutely annihilate everything and anyone who stands with us. So if you're living in Kuwait or Bahrain or Qatar or the United Arab Emirates, or for that matter, even Saudi Arabia, I would get ready. Because if you think you're going to escape the consequences of Trump's war and Israel's demand for Iran's destruction, you will not.
A chilling account has emerged of the exact moment Iranian ballistic missiles struck Muwaffaq Salti Air Base in Jordan, killing 2 U.S. service members. According to reports, the American troops were in their beds, probably asleep, in containerized housing units when the missiles slammed into the base. They reportedly had no chance to evacuate. The missiles tore through the installation, turning what should have been one of the region's most heavily protected military bases into a scene of devastation.
If we have people sitting on this real estate, they're sitting ducks. What are they going to do? Are they going to use the island as a lily pad? You know, this is a sort of marine idea for the Pacific. Well, the problem is it doesn't work because a lily pad can be annihilated.
So what went wrong? Why didn't the air defense systems intercept the incoming missiles and drones? How did Iran's medium to intermediate range ballistic missiles penetrate a sophisticated American air shield? Did the warning sirens fail to sound? Or did they sound far too late for the troops to react? The questions are mounting, and the answers remain elusive. U.S. military officials have not disclosed the identities of those killed or provided further details about the circumstances of the attack, with CENTCOM saying it is withholding the names until at least 24 hours after families have been notified.
Our technology, as Ted Postal and others have pointed out, has not reached the point where we can reliably protect any of these places. What did we see in Isfahan? We saw a very vulnerable special aircraft shot to pieces. Come on. This is different. This is a real war.
Beyond the 2 killed in action, CENTCOM says another American service member remains missing. The command added that 4 U.S. service members were medically evacuated to hospitals in Jordan and have since been discharged, while others who suffered minor injuries returned to duty. Jordan, for its part, said it intercepted 10 Iranian missiles that entered its airspace overnight without reporting any damage, and that its forces also intercepted missiles and drones Tehran claimed were aimed at an American base in the country. Meanwhile, the Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed at least 2 U.S. fighter jets were destroyed in the attack at Azraq, according to Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency. That claim has not been independently verified.
You've got a country the size of Western Europe, 93 million people, and hundreds of places from which they can launch unmanned things like the Shahad missile, the Shahad drones, or various kinds of theater ballistic missiles, cruise missiles. Those are going to take a terrible toll.
A massive fireball, twin explosions lighting up the night sky, shrapnel flying in every direction. Newly surfaced footage circulating online claims to show the exact moment Iranian missiles slammed into a U.S.-linked military position in Jordan, appearing to capture a direct strike followed by a huge blaze and secondary explosions. The authenticity of that footage has not been independently verified, but it circulates alongside something that is confirmed. The Pentagon has acknowledged one of the deadliest attacks on American forces in this entire conflict. The Pentagon has not disclosed the precise location of the strike inside Jordan, nor released operational details. CENTCOM has confirmed only that the assault involved Iranian ballistic missiles and drones, and that it resulted in American casualties.
I don't know how much longer we can continue to hurl munitions and explosives at Iran before we get to the bottom of the barrel. I mean, it's sort of like the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Eventually, you reach the point where you can't pull any more out. I think we're going to hit that point somewhere along the line in the industrial base with the missile production line. That's the first thing.
Washington's answer came within hours. The United States launched an 8th consecutive night of airstrikes ordered by President Donald Trump. According to CENTCOM, the operation was designed to further degrade Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, while delivering what it called a swift military response to the IRGC for the attack that killed American service members in Jordan. So the cycle tightens. An Iranian barrage aimed at an American base in a third country, answered by American bombs falling on Iranian soil, each one presented as a response to the last.
I think the Iranians are quite prepared to sustain the damage that he's threatening. They have found ways around it in the past. There are other ways to export petroleum, and they'll do it.
And from Tehran came a warning of a different order. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, in a message posted on X, said the United States would face what he called unforgettable lessons if it continued its military attacks against Iran. He declared that the American enemy was seeking to provoke a wider war, but warned that both the Iranian nation and what he described as the axis of resistance were prepared to respond. He also dismissed President Trump's latest agreement with regional allies, calling Trump's signature worthless and invalid. That last line matters more than it sounds, because it is Tehran publicly writing off the value of an American promise and telling the region that no paper signed in Washington will restrain what comes next.
Finish the job. Finish the job amounts ultimately into a relapse into barbarism, a descent into the Middle Ages. It means bringing your enemy to his or her knees. That's really what they're saying. In order to do that, in their minds, you're going to have to destroy everything. Most important, not just the petroleum infrastructure, you're going to have to destroy the desalination plants.
Now the numbers on both sides. With the deaths in Jordan, the U.S. military death toll has risen to 16 after a Navy pilot who went missing earlier this month was declared dead, and according to available figures, more than 400 American service members have been wounded since the conflict began. Inside Iran, the count is far higher. Iranian Health Ministry spokesperson Hossein Kermanpour said that between June 27th and July 18th, U.S. strikes killed at least 50 people and injured more than 500 others. Among the dead, Iranian officials say, were 5 women and 2 children, while dozens of women and children were also wounded and 37 people remain hospitalized. Those figures come from Tehran, and they have not been independently verified, but they are the only accounting anyone is publishing. So let us be precise about where this stands. 2 American service members died in their beds, on a base in a country that is not at war with Iran, hit by missiles fired in retaliation for strikes launched by a government that is not Jordan's. 1 American is still missing. 5 Iranian women and 2 children are dead, according to Tehran's own health ministry, killed by bombs dropped in retaliation for attacks their government ordered. Neither set of families chose any of this. Washington says the campaign degrades Iran's ability to threaten shipping. Tehran says it will keep answering every strike. And in between those two positions sit 16 American coffins, 50 Iranian ones, and a region where the bases, the airspace, and now the dead all belong to somebody else's war. The situation remains fluid, and both sides keep trading strikes. The world is watching, and so far, neither side is blinking. Subscribe to WLA for daily geopolitical analysis.
The smart move, the intelligent move, is to recognize the limits of our power, to recognize the futility, and say that's enough. No more. That's it. And it needs to stop. The sooner it stops, the better off we will all be.